Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate also the opportunity to go in front of my friend John Tester. I'll just ask one question that I wanted to highlight, and that's for Mr. Pierce. If we go back, and it's an issue I've been working on for some time, to 1982, I think Congress created in the student loan program the ability for a couple to consolidate their loans together and at a slightly lower rate, pay on it in a single, a single payment. The pitch made, I think, probably some good macro sense, but at that point, the Congress never allowed, even if the couple were to then separate or to get divorced, any ability to separate this consolidated loan, and consequently, one party or the other, oftentimes the female spouse, got stuck with that burden. Do you know, Mr. Pierce, any other student loan product where that does not allow borrowers to separately, if they took on the debt separately, to somehow not separate again if they have some kind of an event like a divorce to take place?
No, I do not.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, matter of fact, this was so egregious that Congress stopped issuing this type of loan consolidation with this restriction on being able to separate the payments downstream if the couple comes apart in 2006. This came to my attention from a woman named Sarah, who was a single mom and teacher in McLean. She and her ex-husband separated. The ex-husband, frankly, didn't pay his share of the bills. And Sarah, single mom, as a teacher, got stuck paying that joint consolidation effort literally for months. She ended up having even some of her wages garnished. Mr. Pierce, the Education Department has told me there are approximately, remember, these were all loans pre-2006, 14,000 plus outstanding joint consolidation loans held by the department with a total outstanding balance of about $800 million. Can you talk a little bit about this issue? I know you're familiar with it. What kind of burden it puts on these individuals, oftentimes who may have been in a abusive relationship, oftentimes their former partner being willing to basically, screw it, I'm going to leave all this obligation on you. I've got a bill with Senator Rubio and Senator Smith and Senator Cornyn that would allow this kind of breakup to take place. Could you weigh in on that and give me your views?
Absolutely. So you mentioned a number of the problems with these loans, particularly in cases of domestic violence or marriages where one spouse is taking advantage of the other, and it causes financial ruptures in families where one spouse may end up assuming responsibility for the debt owed jointly. Your bill would help dissolve these loans, but not just to help provide a fair outcome for borrowers, but to actually restore access to key parts of the student loan safety net that are denied to borrowers that have these so-called spousal consolidation loans, including access to public service loan forgiveness and the ability to get an income-driven repayment that actually matches their financial circumstances. Right now, the student loan safety net is failing people with these so-called spousal consolidation loans, and your legislation would fix this mess.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Pierce. And I would point out, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, this is something that we've got virtual unanimity. There's one senator who still has a hold. We're trying to work through this. But this is a bipartisan, not going to solve all the problems, but for 14,000 Americans who are caught up in these joint consolidation loans, many of them having circumstances, again, as Mr. Pierce just said, with spousal abuse, we could provide some much needed relief. My hope is that we can get that one senator's hold removed, and I will, yield back the balance of my time and